All right, welcome, Alec, to a brand new series on the channel.
Here we are. It's
So,
brand new. We like our random, strange, unique variety elements on this channel, and
yeah,
this is something we talked about, brought up a little bit ago, and thought it'd be fun to try out. So,
yeah. So we've always been talking about how we would like to do more game reviews and be able to talk about games more on the channel. But it's always been a challenge because it's always a big commitment for games. Like you gotta invest a certain amount of time and schedules get aligned right, especially if there's longer games. It's like you got to try to set a deadline and stuff with other stuff. But this
mm,
series hopes to solve that issue in some ways. It'll favor certain types of games, obviously, over others, but it'll be a way for us to experience and talk about new games. It's very almost like I consider it like a trilogy of series we have going now, where we have Chance Time, which is we spin a wheel and watch a random movie and talk about it. We have Pilot Palette, which is where we randomize and watch the pilot of a random show. And now Bargain Bin is not quite the same. It's not completely randomized because that's kind of hard to do.
mm,
And it's hard to do with there's not like an easy database of games to randomize out of, you know.
right. Because there's a
And
lot out there. There's a lot, like more than you could even begin to imagine, actually.
yeah, and it's also the challenge of it's not as easy with games to be like, let's review this and then come or play this and come back review it next week. Most games
Mm,
aren't conducive to that. You usually have to put more time into it, especially like longer RPGs and whatnot. So this specifically is Bargain Bin, and we're aiming for any game that's $5 or less. If it's $5.01, it's not eligible. $5 or
that's
less.
right. Got to be that specific. Got to hit that specific note.
And if you know a traditional
$5 or
bargain
less.
bin, it's in a store, a physical thing. Now this is not
Mm,
that, but we're gonna try to capture the spirit of like pulling a random game off the shelf type thing, but
and
in the way
maybe
that
it'll
we
be a
can.
gem. Maybe.
Yeah. So it's like $5 or less games, or anywhere from like if you just go and scroll the eShop or the PlayStation Store, you can see there's anywhere from like really good games that happen to be on a great sale to some good indie games to like absolute garbage, and you can just anything goes for this series. So anything
Pretty much.
could pop up in that range. I'm sure we'll touch on all of those, but essentially how it's gonna work is I pick the first game. I'm gonna reveal it to Alec in this episode, and we'll come back in a week and talk about it. And then we'll be alternating. Alec will pick the next time we do it, and so on. So essentially, the rule we set for ourselves is a minimum of 3 hours. We'll play a minimum of 3 hours or until completion, whatever comes first. So if it's like a really
Right.
short game, you can finish in 2 hours or whatever. Obviously, that's you've played the whole game. Obviously, there's certain exceptions, like the old stroke the kitten game. You know, like
stroke the beaver.
maybe you don't have to put 3 hours into that if it's something you can't complete. You know,
Mm.
or the old alarm clock app on Switch. You know,
Yes, the alarm.
but essentially this is limited to the Switch eShop or the PlayStation Store. Those are the two options.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
I don't really do PC games, so I can't do Steam.
yeah. Steam's got all kinds of sales and would have higher qual. I would say, from personal experience, would have had a higher quality stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have a PC that can run it, then yeah,
But I'm
it is
telling
what
you,
it is.
weeks ago, I kept looking on the Switch store just to see like what could I theoretically pick if it were
Mm.
right now, and it's like there's some real gems in there. It's like literally like Final Fantasy VII is like $6. Like that's almost eligible. Like a game like
Wow.
that.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a classic right there.
And then but there's like so many great like this one looks cool or this one looks so stupid that would be good to review. Like there's so many of those garbage like simulator games on there. The most cursed ones are the ones that have like the AI images. They're clearly like
Oh
AI
yeah, oh, those are
generated.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least like the hentai ones, at least they have like some slight effort
Yeah,
into the art. Even though I almost wonder how many of those are like asset flips, where it's just like some cheapo hentai art
absolutely.
that some person made and
Because if you ever look at
licensed to
those,
this
because
company.
it's so weird, it's such a weird meta to the Switch eShop that there's just so many hentai games sprinkled in there. Clearly, 90% of them are
Yes.
made by the same person. Because you just look at the preview, it's all the same. They're like slide puzzles, and like that's
Yeah.
it. It's like a slide puzzle of an image. And
And
it's like,
that's an old thing because like in Japan there were like that was like hentai slide puzzles were like a thing. Um, back in like the 80s and 90s, like even as
mhm,
early as the 80s, they were you know had stuff like that. So, but
yeah. So essentially, when we go into this, we're gonna play it by ear on whether we feel like we've played enough of the game to be able to do a full review the following week, or if we'll just talk about our first impressions. For a game like Final Fantasy VII, if this was like theoretically our first time playing, then
mm,
obviously wouldn't be able to get enough from 3 hours. Um, Whereas some games you can play the whole thing in 3 hours or get a really good impression of it.
all right.
And of course, we're not limited to 3 hours. If you want to play more, you can. So maybe that'll be interesting to see if there's certain games that compel us to play more or not. Or it's like I just went right up to that 3 hour mark and I was out, you know. So we'll see. I'm trying to capture that essence when I was going about picking the games of picking one that I didn't really know much, or like I didn't know until I saw it on the Switch eShop. So, you know, but that was, my dilemma was like, do I pick a bad one, like a one that I know is bad, or one that could be good, could be bad.
Hmm.
All right, well, let's see. You want to see what the game is called?
Yeah. What is this game? What do we got here? What am I gonna be? What am I supposed to be playing?
The
What's it
game is
called?
called Leo's Fortune.
Leo's Fortune, huh?
Yes,
I mean,
and
Leo's.
it was like immediately in my search. It just drew my attention. It's $3.49 on the Switch eShop right now.
Ooh, that's not bad. Yeah, Leo's Fortune.
You see that little that face? It's like a
Let
little
me.
fluff.
Oh, I'm doing the search right now.
It's a fluff ball with a mustache.
It is. It's Leo's Fortune.
I'll read this description. It says, "Join Leo on a thrilling quest to recover his fortune. Immerse yourself in a beautifully handcrafted world full of clever traps and puzzles. Once upon a fortune, there was me, Leo, a brilliant engineer with a coat of turquoise fur and an accent as thick as borscht. My gadgets were legendary whirring wonders that made me rich, amassing a mountain of gold. One day my riches vanished, leaving me heartbroken and flat broken. Now, 10 years later, I am back on a whirlwind adventure to reclaim my lost fortune and find the thief. Join me in this epic journey filled with twists, turns, and heartwarming moments as I follow the trail of gold and uncover the truth behind my stolen fortune." All right, and it says, there's breathtaking handcrafted levels, there's challenging physics-based puzzles, there's captivating storyline, an atmospheric soundtrack, hardcore mode, and a character and world rich in detail. It's a platforming game.
I. This looks. So, by the way, for those of you watching this, this is on sale until Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get in on this, the North American eShop, you should be able to play along with us if you really want to. We could you could check this game out. It's not very much. I literally just bought it. Um, so yeah, I mean, there it is, Leo's Fortune. They're just hanging out in my in my stuff. There it is, baby.
I wanted to note that
Fortune.
it was available till Christmas. I will say basically the only rule for us is it has to be $5 less the day of this recording, so
Mm.
the other person can
Hmm.
get it. Sometimes it'll work out so where the viewer, it'll still be on sale by the time they see the review and everything. Sometimes it won't. Like there were some games where it was like the sale ends tomorrow, so it was like
Mm.
we would only be able to enjoy that. So it would essentially be like, in the event it does go on sale again, we could recommend it or not. But in
Right.
this case, yeah, you
Or
can.
even in some instances, we might be like, hey, this was worth full price.
Hmm.
Or something like that. We could even depending on if we're getting it. Says this game is on sale. It's 50% off. So it's normally about $7.
That's the
I guess.
bargain bin for you. Some people,
Yeah,
not everybody has the same bargain bin at their store.
it's
So
true. It's very
sometimes
true.
it'll come around
Yeah.
their bargain bin one day. Yeah. So
So
this one you can either get it now to join us while we're playing it, or you can wait for a review after, whether you should recommend it or not. I don't know. This one I think could really be hit or miss. I like the look of
Yeah.
him. Just a weird
I
looking
like
character, but
the narrative itself that you gave was is very charming right off the bat. I like that a lot because it that shows a lot more to me. That shows a lot more thought being put into this than just like a generic whatever. It's not like Leo's a little fluff ball and he needs to find his way back to his fortune. Join him on X number of epic levels to find his way back to his money hoard. No, I like had a whole narrative like, hey, I'm Leo. I've got this massive mustache and look at my accent's thick as borscht, which I don't even know what that means. And it's just like you just get a really sense of his personality already just through that little description. So
yeah, and
yeah,
I even considered free to play games. I even considered a couple of those too. The ultimate bargain. But this is the one that
play
stood out to
Honkai
me
Star Rail.
immediately. Yeah, Genshin Impact.
Play Honkai Star. Yeah, that's. I don't know if those are. I don't know if I would consider those bargain bins because it's like, yes, technically you can play them just strictly free to play if you're willing to sink a lot of time into them.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 hours, we wouldn't have to spend a cent, but that'd be really easy to do.
But it's really
Getcha.
interesting. It gives a lot of agency to the person picking. You could subject us to torture or actually go for a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like Among Us is like $5. Like, just do Among Us. Roblox is free.
Oh no!
There's so many different routes you could go with it.
It's true. It is true.
But there's some good games that are $5. Like ones that I know are good that I saw on there. But yeah. So Leo's Fortune will be the first. So we'll come back a week from now and talk about that. I'm assuming this is a game we could review after at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
I would hope so.
So
Not it might be overstaying its welcome a tad, but we'll see. We'll see.
I just like the idea of now adding all these random games to our like review lists. So when we do like our tier list at the end of the year, we have to rank Leo's Fortune in our tier list of reviews.
There's our review of Leo's Fortune from the bargain bin.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun though. I should note that our plan it's not gonna be not a guarantee, but we're gonna try to do at least one of like Chance Time, Pilot Palette, or Bargain Bin each month. So it'll be one.
I'll give it a shot anyway.
That's the
Be
goal.
fun to try.
So we can mix around different mediums, because for a while we were doing just Chance Time every month, but now it gives us a little more freedom to mix it up.
Good stuff. All right. Well, hey, come back next week. See what we have to say about Leo's Fortune.
That's right. And until then, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Like the video. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts and what video should they check out next.
Go check out our Pilot Palette episode on what was the name of that show we watched? I don't even remember the name of it now.
Lane.
Firefly Lane, baby. Yeah, that's right. Go check out our overview of our discussion about Firefly Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now with all these different series going on, we'll be able to give love to all the different things we love,
Mm-hmm.
Be able to talk about a bunch of random games, maybe not the heavy hitters. Every now and then we'll get a game like Super Mario RPG where we both happen to play. Alec was supposed to play Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door so we could review that. That didn't happen.
I just haven't gotten around to it.
So
maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Those are harder to come by because it just really has to line up properly usually. Especially we're always doing challenges every couple months too, of like people in our Discord giving us games that we have to play from our backlog. So it's tough, but this will be fun. Get some garbage, get some gems, hopefully everything in between. All right, until next time.